Okay, so I was just going about my life, trying to figure out some answers and such. I'm on side this girl's page. Hi everyone, I'm Mimi, and she's basically trying to where I'm trying to figure out what's happening in my life and why my parents acted the way they did, and like because my father at the end of the day was a genius. Like, he is a genius. Like, he's a genius psychopath. I've always known that he was a genius. I don't think that I've spoken to either of them about how I felt about them. So this is sort of like, you could say it's less of a confession and more of like the truth. um I've always felt like my father was a genius. He's always been a genius. He did things in a very strange way that he would like the Alexa device beeped at me for a second and it says watch Rio 2 again. Just like last live stream, if you watch my last live stream, it says watch Rio 2. So, well, despite his convenient um, interventions always, I've always been aware, which is why they have tried to either try and erase my memory using abuse of some sort, which is why I had mentioned magic. But in actuality, they had actually beaten me up. Like, this was a serious situation that I actually remembered because of so much trauma that I couldn't forget. I could not forget my trauma, which was exactly why I remembered everything. Okay? And my entire depression, I was trying to release my resentment. Because mayhaps I was someone powerful. Mayhaps I was someone strong and well endowed in magic. And I had received so much hate and trauma and stuff about cloning, like as if you could clone me, or you could think that you would try and make me think that you could clone me, when in fact what you were doing was trying to release my subconscious state into a different body so that you could torture me within that body and then call me crazy, as if people have not spoken about this before. People have spoken about this before. Okay, it is information freely available for everybody online to see. Okay, and this is the stuff that I actually had seen that had reminded me of my own trauma and the odd coincidences that had been at play. For example, me falling into coma at random times, or me sleeping for very long times of days, me traveling places that I hadn't realized where I was and what was going on. Despite now being able to do whatever I want and staying awake for as long as I want or sleeping for as long as I want. So, within this page, what really triggered me to do this was that this girl or whoever who made the page, her name is Athena Aries. She made her page at September 21st, 2020, and this is the page, what you call it, I had gone to, and she had actually, let me read the comment. So I posted on, what you call it, I posted a comment on Phoenix Marvelous's page on YouTube, and the response, basically I said, it hasn't been exposed for me yet, they're hiding everything and I truly need help. And this is for tarot card readers that are actually helping with the process of understanding the situation that is happening. I sit to I actually just had a tarot card reading done for me recently that said I need a little more playtime and a little more joy in my life to be able to, long story. But so I'm like, I told her this, and she says, Athena Aries, she says, yes, you do. So please help yourself by stop projecting your crimes outward in fake profiles posing as me. Your intentions for others is what you receive, which is why I win always and you don't. Now, I don't know who this person is. They made their page September 21st. I made my page a long, long, long time ago, about 2015 or 2016, 2017, around that time when I actually posted my first video on YouTube, which was me cutting my hair. And I had always named myself Mimi Athena through high school, where I would write it within my projects because I was very interested in Greek mythology and Norse mythology and understanding the relevance of the timelines because of weird coincidences that had actually happened to me in my life. So, so having her immediately write on my page or write under my comment is very odd to me. Because either one, this is the actual Athena, the goddess Athena, but at the same time, if it was the goddess Athena, she would also understand that Athena and Ares are both at war. So, no correlation. Now, what had happened to me when I was younger is that there was a lot of money involved within my presence that had nothing to do with actually making it. So we lived inside a pharmacy and at the second floor of the pharmacy. And I remember exactly how it looked like. In fact, I have drawn these things multiple times and I have drawn every single scenario that has traumatized me in order to remember what actually happened within those spaces. I do know that my mother was sleeping with multiple people. I do know that there was situations that were happening were beyond my resolve and I was being lied to. One of the first lies that I remember my mom saying to me was that she was sleeping with this man right after after my father's divorce. And I basically walked in on them, which was traumatizing enough. I was like, oh no, I'm not about to catch my parents having sex because I have intellect. And I did not want to see any of that. However, what had ticked me off was the fact that she could have told me. She could have told me, but she didn't. What she had said to me instead was that the AC was broken and that it was making noise. That was strange enough. I proceeded to obviously cause a tantrum because I was a child at the time. You cannot confuse me with my birth dates and times. I do know the oddity of my aging effects. For example, the fact that while I was growing, my knees were hurting because my mother said I was growing too fast for my legs or whatever. So either there's been a lie within my birthday or there's a situation behind closed doors that I am not seeing very clearly. However, I do remember that there are no innocent people here. I do remember that within every single person that I had spoken to, every single person that my mother and father knew had not helped me, had not spoken properly to me, and had not treated me with any decency that had been true to what the situation was what was occurring within the situation. So you cannot tell me, you cannot lie to me, and you cannot make me think of anything that is not factual and true within its nature. You can try and confuse me, but those things will be rebuked, and I rebuke them immediately. I already am aware that the truth will come out when time comes, and I trust the divine with its timing. You cannot confront me with lies, allegations, when I am the evidence. The man named Stas, or Emmanuel Zion, that had taken me into his house at the age of 17 had very satanic things on his walls. I said not to mention them in order to make sure that I had a place of living at the time when my uncle had passed away due to an aneurysm that had been very particular because I had seen him the day he died. I had looked him in the eyes the day he died, and his eyes that were stock red from crying all nights after his ex-wife had put divorce papers on the table of the dining room in Russia. That same day he had passed away. I had mentioned this to my grandfather, and I had mentioned this to a couple other family members. Although this I don't think was mentioned within the court case that they were dealing with, because I was not invited. I was not written within it. I did not sign any contracts. I did not sign anything. Okay? I was then forced away from the household by a lady named Masha, his ex-wife, my uncle, R.I.P., God rest his soul. And she had even broken through the door, if I remember. Yeah, there was a couple things that were happening. I was trying to confront her at the time, but I was young. And she had told me to get out. I felt threatened, and I needed to leave. I needed to leave the household in which my grandparents and I had been acquainted with for a very long, long time. The question of magic here isn't in observancy or allegation. The question of magic here is ritualism. I do not play with ritualism, and I do not play with sacrifice. I do not sacrifice, not my happiness, not my love, not anything. I do not sacrifice, for the meaning of sacrifice in itself within quantum grammar is false. Just much like the word lie or belief. So now, whoever is trying to confuse me will not win. There is no winning and there is no losing. This is not a game. This is real life. This is not a game. This is real. Now, the question of cloning or not is impossible in my nature because I cannot be copied. Whatever you think the clone is a separate being or entity or person or human. I do not fight. I am a peaceful person. But this does not mean that you can take advantage of me. Not ever. I am an adult, and I will protect myself accordingly. Now, I do not engage in satanic practices, may I mention. I see all of light, all of creation within itself as is. I see humanity as is. And I see satanism and pedophilia as a crime. Now, I have been put under pretenses where predators, pedophiles, psychopaths, and much more have been around me and very well know how they act. Just enough to know that I am protected. And just in case anybody wants to try and call me crazy, I do not see things, I do not hear things, I can't even imagine things. What I can do, though, is put pieces of the puzzle together immediately. So anytime any action is taking under me, around me, with my name, or anything surrounding my involvement that I am not aware of, I will be. It will be known. And I surrender to the divine. And even if I die, the truth will come out. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I wish not to be harmed, but I know I can't be. Not ever. I like to keep myself unknown. However, I'd like not to go there either. Now, whatever happened to me in the past really happened. Okay? There are pictures everywhere, videos everywhere. They will be exposed, and those who have committed their crimes against me will be exposed. Every single person, going back decades, ages, generations, and more. How could you do that? How could you think that you're God? How could you do that? When the meaning of the word God, when the word itself, you have Elohim, Adonai, Allah, you have the moon, you have goddesses, you have angels, you have the universal truths of infinity, of eternity, of paradoxes. You have math, science, and oh, I hate when people call me crazy. That shit pisses me off. I have been called crazy over being beaten with bruised eyes and all, while they try to hide the truth, why they try to confuse me with money and my sexualness, my very body, my very being, and expect me not to be mad like a human. Or then maybe even the fact that I really went through everything I did just to sit here and still be abused, and still be shut down, and still be silenced. The cycle has come to an end. There will be completion. I don't care about money. I don't care. What I want is my own life. What I want is my own freedom. What I want is happiness for me and the poor motherfucking children that they have put in cages, have trafficked, have poisoned, and now with the vaccines that are coming out and making women infertile, causing pregnancy harms or whatever, whatever you think you know, whatever you think you know about the government or the people. My father is in the government. My father, the psychopath that did all this to me, he's in the government in Nigeria. The same government that shook hands with Barack Obama, the same government that's transpiring for all this, trying to keep me quiet, trying to play nice. I can't fake my emotions. I can't fake my feelings. I can't fake at all. It is not in my nature. Regardless of birth chart, birthday, whatever. It's truly appalling to see how many people ignore what's right in front of them, ignore the fact that right now there is a person who had survived everything that the conspiracy theorists, they're just talking nonsense, they're just talking bullshit, just to come find out that the real evidence is right fucking here. You want the truth? Go get it. I did my fucking research. I restored my fucking memory. I did it. I worked my ass off just so that I could come into the moment where I could speak my fucking truth. You can't stop what's coming. Those who are afraid for a reason. Trying to scare me. Disgusting.